Hello, welcome back to day 5. I'm so excited for today because we are getting into our heart space, right? And so today's theme is life's compass, and that's heart-centered living. Our heart, like our heart and our soul, is what guides us through life, right? And so it's when we come up against major life decisions and we come up against lots of different challenges and forks in the roads and all sorts of things like that. It's our heart that points us in the right direction. And our heart is guided first and foremost by love. Love for ourselves, love for others, love for nature, love for all living things. Because we come from love and we go back to love. Like love is that circle of life. Love is what flows and really sparks our inspiration in different ways, right? Like it's where, that like burning desire, right? Like, so there's a difference between like, I want to do something, right? But then this like whole heart, like from a place of love and service and this desire to just share, right? This is where we fill our cups. This is where we help and learn how to show compassion, and we understand sacrifice in good and bad ways, right? And in ways that are useful and non-useful, in ways that are not productive, but in ways that lighten up or heavy and burden our heart, right? Like there's always this ebb and flow, and there are always these different lessons, and how we respond in our heart, how we feel in our heart. If it hurts our heart, then we know that we are not headed in the right direction. When it fills our heart with so much love and joy, like you feel like your heart's gonna burst, and like that's where it's just like the smile comes out, like you're beaming and your like cheeks are hurting, right? Like, and you're on the right path. And life is full of twists and turns, so we aren't always going to know whether we're heading in the right direction until sometimes we start heading down that path. And it's how we learn to listen to ourselves, right? It's how we learn discernment with ourselves, by learning to stop and listen and touch base with our heart before we make decisions. And learning that it can be a very quick process, like anything, right? It's a practice and a process that the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And so the more you're able to be present and live and breathe from that place, right? And living life from your heart. And it can be very uncomfortable because there are so many different ways in which we are hurt at a young age because needs aren't met, because um, um, we are seeing and experiencing things that just harden our heart. The things that make us lose faith in ourselves and in others. And so the lesson in learning to move through that uncomfortable place or those uncomfortable bits and pieces back to love is just as much, if not a bigger part of the journey. Because it's going through those times that make you really appreciate being on the other side. And where you're able to, again, tap into and understand the real depth of your emotions and the experiences and how that really enriches your life. You know, that idea that you're living with a hardened heart and it's like this film and this haze. It lacks the clarity. You know, so if you feel like you're really lost and you don't know where to go or what your purpose is, a lot of that's because your heart is closed off through trauma, you know, things that may have been passed down, past lives, like so many different ways with which our hearts can be locked down. But like everything else, you have a choice. And, you know, sometimes it might be just kind of peeking out a little bit here and there until you feel really comfortable, or until you reach that, you know, that point in life where there isn't any other choice. Because we all have those parts and moments in our life where we're just so tired of putting on the facade, and we're so tired of meeting expectations, and we're so tired of living in judgments, because that's what all of those different locks on our heart are. That our heart will burn bright and burn through all of those and just basically say, screw it, here I am. You know, and then that's when we begin to re-tap into our own essence, our own soul on a new level, begin to hear it with much more clarity, begin to truly feel, to understand, to appreciate, to grasp, not with our head, but with our heart and our body, what love really is, what love really means. And so that's what my invitation is for you today in this daily ritual, is to begin to make your way into those cracks and those crevices and breathe in new life, bring in some fresh light, and allow yourself to slowly, increment by increment, bring love back into your life and allow that to be what guides you through your day to day.